listeners, and welcome to another Who Corner to Corner podcast. My name is Paul, and I'm sat here with Jeff, except I'm not actually with him. He's like quite a few miles away, somewhere else in the land. How are you, Jeff, me old mate? You good?
I'm all right. I'm virtually sitting on your lap.
Oh, there's a thing, eh? He's virtually sitting on my lap. Yes, well, that's an interesting experience. That's for another podcast, ladies and gentlemen, one which we put out very late at night. But, of course, it depends where you are, whether or not your country regulations will allow you to read it. But anyway, enough of that nonsense. We're here to kind of basically talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about... That was really good. That was really good. You should put some echo on that in the edit. Yeah, okay, don't push it, mate. It's funny ones. What was I going to say? So we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Now that the dust has settled on the shocking news, the amazing, dramatic door slam from Russell T Davies that we talked about in our last episode, which did leave you a little bit, well, I think it left both of us a little bit confounded. But would I be right in thinking you're actually quite upset about it, Jeff? And I don't mean this in a horrible way. I think genuinely, you and a lot of fans were actually kind of, a bit pissed off by that.
Yeah, I was proper annoyed, and
proper annoyed.
The more I talked about it, the more I realised how pissed off I was.
And I probably didn't get that, to be honest with you, when we were talking, because I was thinking, well, I don't care. Really, if he's gone, he's gone. Well, that's not a bad thing, whatever. But then I realised actually it was quite meaningful for you, so I should probably apologise for that. I mean, I won't, but I should probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I wasn't. Disappointed that Russell had gone, perhaps, but just the general state that our favourite show has been left in, and as a few people really. Enjoyed me saying online, I thought his sign off was quite poor. But the show's gone, and really when you kind of think about it, it's pretty substantial. And yeah, okay, fine, it's out for tender, but nothing's going to happen on that for some time yet, if at all. And I have my thoughts on why that might not happen. But either way, it's gone. It's done for now.
It's gone.
And I thought you were quite positive to say, it's out for tender, someone will be bashing down the door for it. And I
still think that.
Yeah, and that's great. And I don't think that.
We know you don't think that. Yes,
but that doesn't mean I don't think that it won't come back in another 5 years or so.
Some other way.
We don't have Doctor Who at the moment, and it's been a part of all of our lives for. However long,
forever,
nearly 20 years since it came back, or longer if you were, classic and stuff.
If you're as old as me, basically.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And now it's gone. And obviously there's plenty of other things, but it's, they're
not the same though, are they? They're not Doctor Who.
Not, I mean, yeah.
It's unique.
What I mean is there are, there's other stuff to watch and to do.
Oh, other Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah, there's other Doctor Who.
Other Doctor Who media.
But it's still not, it's not quite the same.
It's not a TV show, is it?
So yeah, I think it's a real shame it's ended in this way with a sort of giant belly flop rather than a explosive definitive end. And yeah, I think it's a shame really. It did sort of hit me quite hard, I think, really, and I was quite angry about it all, really. So yeah, but
so how are you feeling now then? Sort of week or so down the line. Any different?
I don't know, really. It's. I've got to be honest. It's been slightly hard to sort of muster up any kind of enthusiasm and stuff. Prior to the news, we'd been talking about writing our next audio dramas, and we're working on. Well, you're working on something I haven't done one yet. And I was thinking, I could get writing on this, and I'd found someone to do one of the voices and stuff. And then I thought, I can't be bothered. But then obviously I've been somewhat lukewarm on the recent era, and now with this ending, pausing, whatever you want to call it. I thought, the show's finished for now, and so that huge part of it's gone, and when the main thing isn't there, how does your love for it continue? But of course, that's a bit silly, really, in a way, because I think we said before, we love Doctor Who. Might be a weak episode, but a great performance of the Doctor, or whatever. There's always something to like, and there is so much to like. So I think so I started to think, well, I will write the script and we will do these audios because the show's off, so we need to get these things done to put them out there, and hopefully
the
people
fans
will listen
need.
and.
Yep.
Well, yeah, so there'll be more stuff out there, and that like the Outlander film is coming and stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
And I thought, whilst I've been lukewarm on the recent era, there's still loads of other stuff, and we've still got new Jodie audios coming, Circuit Breaker and stuff. And I think I need something to sort of reset the love for it a little bit,
So something to give you that little spark back, do you think?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, so sitting on my virtual lap is obviously not enough to do that for you.
Yeah, your spark is not giving
right.
me the lift I need.
Getting on a bit in life now, things aren't what they used to be, dare I say.
Yeah.
On which subject? Let's go to Facebook then, because we did have a lot of comments right across our social media kind of platforms for this, and we did read out quite a lot in the last podcast, but there were a few that we missed, and unfortunately we missed
as well.
They came, I think some came in after, so for sure. So we can kind of have a look at those. But I wanted to include these comments from our Facebook page because I think they're really good. Actually, I've only had a few of these, but let's read through these. So we had a comment from Eleanor Jodie Alashevsky, who is listed on our Facebook as a top fan. Thank you, Eleanor, and congratulations on being a top fan. Well, hey. Eleanor says, I do hope someone has finally decided that going Back to the Future was not a great idea. Although, with the climate of online hate that I'm sure still exists, good luck finding new people, guys. Oh dear. Then she goes on to say, but I think you chaps were on the money with your thoughts on the rewrite of the ending of the last series. All a bit of a mess, really. But smiley face. Let's hope it's a chance for a fresh start, even if there's nothing for a while. Doctor Who, says Eleanor, will never die. I think that's very true. It will never. It's always going to come back in some form. Look at the wilderness years. We had 16 years with nothing on TV other than the Paul McGann Doctor Who TV movie. And so much expectation was built on that as well. I remember at the time, Jeff, so much. We were going to get a brand new series. It was going to be $1 million an episode. It was going to be filmed in the States, in Canada or whatever. And it was going to be amazing. It would be basically with all the new special effects and big sets, that gorgeous gothic TARDIS. And basically that didn't happen. It was just that one shot. That was it. And the disappointment after that, mate, I remember it was crushing. But I had my DVDs, my book and everything, not DVDs, my video, my VHS, which was out the day before it was on the telly, and I couldn't resist.
I remember that. And
do you remember? Yeah, you were around then. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
in your nappies.
I bought the VHS and possibly W.H. Smith's in like Newquay or something when I was on holiday. Yeah. And it coming out before it went on TV is like Avengers Doomsday streaming before it comes out in the cinema.
It's a bit of a faux pas, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah. Jodie, Eleanor is right there. The show will come back, and I think that in my view, at the moment, I don't think anyone will want to touch things, in large part because of the toxic fandom. I think,
There's part of it's toxic. Most of the fandom is good, surely. Look at these comments from Eleanor, from Morgan, Samantha, and most of the people we interact with.
A lot of the people, they don't speak up enough. And so the loudest voices, I think, are the negative. So, we should pipe up more. And pipe up more people. That's how we, got going by standing up to, Jodie's era and stuff, But I feel this sort of about quite a lot of fandoms, really. You've got to be pretty brave to want to wade in there knowing that you are facing a very probably small but loud
Yeah.
group that will make things very difficult. But yeah, I have no doubt it will come back. I just don't know when.
It will come back. Just say also, because I am such a sucker for the Doctor Who TV movie, I recently got it in the Steelbook 4K UHD edition. Mate, I've got every single variant of that's ever been released, ever. DVD, Blu-ray, now the UHD, and obviously it's just available to watch on iPlayer and stuff. My wife will kill me if she finds out I spent 40 quid on that. Shh. Anyway, so we've also got Morgan Haynes, who writes in regularly across our social media. We love Morgan. Who says, I can't say I am surprised, but I do feel very misled by Russell, as he said there was a Christmas special and scripts had been written. Turns out not to be the case at all. I hope whoever gets the Who gig in the future, and it should be me and Jeff, it goes well for them, but this show needs a break from TV for a while, so I'm not really surprised about this news at all. Now, this sort of, we know Morgan. Morgan is very, very positive, and he absolutely loves Doctor Who and football. So for Morgan to say, actually, I think that the show needs a break from TV for a while, I mean, that kind of says something, doesn't it? This is something that's been buzzing around fandom. Whenever there's an element in Doctor Who that, a certain section of fans don't like, they need to cancel it for a bit, rest it, put it on a hiatus, and we've always kind of championed the idea that, no, you shouldn't do that. We've said on this podcast many, many times, why would you cancel the thing that you love or that so many other people love? And we have to sort of recognise that although you and I and a few others that we've kind of mixed with in our echo chamber weren't massive fans of the last couple of series, a lot of people really loved those. They enjoyed them. For some people, I think as was it, someone said in our comment last year, I think it might have been Lee, who said, Shooty Gatwa is somebody's first Doctor. Yeah. He's their Doctor. And that is something we cannot and should not ever take away from somebody. So does Doctor Who, will it really benefit from going on hiatus again?
I think it's a really complicated issue. I think, there's all sorts of factions involved,
It's a paradox. It's a faction paradox.
Yeah.
Ting!
And
those who know will know.
The general audience, so the part of the fandom that hate everything, the part that enjoy it, all the people who like Shooty, people who really like Jodie, or people who really like Matt. Do you know what I mean? It's so broad that a universal appeasement is impossible. I think, but I think like with a lot of these things, sadly, it comes down to business at the end of the day. The production partner pulled out. Not many people were watching compared to perhaps what they would have wanted. It's not viable. It's reached a point. I mean, it might be that they would have carried on, smaller budget, but in today's TV landscape, you've got to be hitting a certain level, I think, of production. And that's not to say, if you've got loads of money, you're not creative, because that's it doesn't quite work that way. But what it means is your show, it visually will compete with other stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
It has to for people to want to take a look at it.
Well, again, this was something that was always a factor in the wilderness years in the 90s, right? There's a recognition that if Doctor Who was to continue, and it would always be up against those high-budget American shows, which were wildly successful. And, of course, the BBC just didn't have the remit. If I remember as well, towards the end of the 80s, the BBC was putting a lot more stuff out to independent producers of programs and things, right? So it was becoming more of a kind of agency broadcaster, and it's really sort of more like that now than it ever was. Of course, now it's got its own arm, BBC Studios, which used to be BBC Worldwide, but, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, what the Doctor Who TV movie showed was that actually, it can be done, and it could be like this, or it could be better than this, I think was the thing. And if we hadn't have had that, we may not have had the revival with Christopher Eccleston, because, that the TV movie, for all that's wrong about it, has a lot of brilliant stuff that's good about it. And that sort of begins to establish the template on a different kind of pace, a different presentation, and yet still intrinsically remains Doctor Who.
Yeah, I think, everything you said there was right. And I think, it needs some money behind it. And I think it's clear that the BBC need somebody else to help them do it now.
Oh, they do. Yeah,
I'm sure
they
they
need
can
a
still,
partner, don't they?
yeah, they can still do it, I'm sure, but they need the partner to help elevate it,
Yeah,
and
totally.
and
Yeah,
reach.
they do. And, the TV landscape, I mean, it was changing in the 80s and 90s. It's changed even more so
Yeah.
in the last 10 years or so. It's a very different commercial model now to what it used to be. But I think you're right, because it always comes down to the commercials, and the commercials are driven by how many people are watching it continuously. That's the thing. It might be toxic on social media, and I think that's maybe a part of it, but the bigger part of it is how many people are watching this show right now. And the trouble is, because we're in this streaming age, people's viewing habits are very different. They won't necessarily watch a show when it's immediately aired, unless it's a tremendous success. Like 1% of the 1% of programs that are put out there will have that instant need to watch. I think things like Stranger Things, I think Doctor Who actually does do that, to be fair, but I think its audience is a lot smaller than sort of Stranger Things and stuff like that, even though there's so many millions of Doctor Who fans in the world. However, the TV isn't everything, and I think, as you said, we've got a lot of other stuff coming through. And Samantha Lee Schenk on our Facebook says, she goes, I've got my Circuit Breaker audios pre-ordered and a comic an order from my local comic shop. Oh, that's very heartwarming. Samantha goes on to say there are new 13 audios coming out, as you said, Jeff, bi-monthly, and promise of more 9 and Rose audios as well. Personally, say Samantha, I'm living my best life with or without the TV show. Yes!
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love that. I think that's such a positive way to look at this.
Well, I
because
mean,
there is so much stuff out there.
we've got a whole load of 13th Doctor stuff still coming. So yeah, great. I'm happy with that. And there's another 6th Doctor set coming in August. I need to finish the previous one that I was listening to as well. Yeah.
Do you know what I think they should do as well, actually? I was thinking about this when I was having a shower this morning. I do all my best thinking on the shower, by the way. And I thought, if we're going to have an extended hiatus of Doctor Who, what we really need are more Doctor Who New Adventures. I just make sure I was pointing in the right place. That one, there. I kind of, do you know what? The New Adventures, the Virgin New Adventures, I sort of love these, and I simultaneously hate them as well. I hate them because I wished I'd written one back in the day. I did try years ago. I tried to do a couple of treatments, and I did get one story almost finished. My big problem was that I never finished anything, and I just get bored of it really quickly. So it was never kind of worked when it felt. It'd be a great idea. I'd start write it for a couple of weeks, and then just abandon the whole thing. But I really wish I kind of stuck it out, because I thought afterwards I thought, I'd love to have written one of those and for it to be on my bookshelf, which would have been quite nice. So if they ever do them again, then maybe there's a chance, if I can stick it, that is, to the end of the actual writing thing. I might be a quick reader, but I'm definitely not a quick writer, unfortunately. Not with that sort of stuff. It always defeats me. But anyway, so that's there's a few comments that we didn't. Well, I don't think they were there last time we did this. So thank you for those.
Shall I play a quick speak pipe?
I was going to say, let's go to some speak pipe that Jeff has downloaded and see what some other fans have to say vocally.
So this is from William Trimble, who has become a regular contributor to the podcast, which is great.
Hi, Will.
Let me load this up.
So now the dust has settled on the cancellation of Christmas, and the future of the show is in jeopardy, and probably won't be back till 2030 at the earliest. I'm quite frustrated with the way that the Christmas special was handled. I think it should have gone ahead. It would have been maybe a bit chaotic and a bit messy. But I feel like it would have closed quite a few loose ends, which would have made it maybe a better prospect to a future production company wanting to take on Doctor Who. I am quite disappointed, not just Russell T Davies, but like the whole production team, and especially the BBC, because if they say they love Doctor Who so much, then I can't believe that they've let it get to this point. I mean, it got to that point in 1989 because BBC didn't like the show. And supposedly they like it now, but they've let it get to this state again. So, yeah, I can't see how it goes on from here, really. It's going to be a while, I think. From what I understand, it could be 2030 at best. So, yeah, not happy with how it's all turned out and quite frustrated. But Yeah, just gonna have to rewatch some of the other Doctor Who's now,
There you go.
and yeah, quite annoying really that it's not happening.
Bit annoyed that it's not happening.
Yeah,
The
I get it.
corporation, the BBC don't like Doctor Who anymore. Do you think that's true? Don't they like Doctor Who?
I don't think they don't like it as a whole. I think perhaps they didn't like what has happened to it recently.
I think they wish it could have gone a different direction, perhaps, or that the Disney deal had been
Well, do you know
better.
what? I think, let's be honest, I think everyone wishes it had gone a different way, you know? I think about the Christmas special, I don't know, it's
Are we
difficult.
better with or with? Are we better without it, really?
Well, one thing I will say is, you know, because I've seen a few people saying, you know, Russell should have had the chance to tie up his loose ends, and you know, maybe when it comes back, people will pick up the loose ends and explain, Billy, who cares? Like that whole thing was just,
Who cares?
it was just like there is
Yeah.
no untold story about why the Doctor turned into
No,
Billy.
it was just a cliffhanger for the sake of a
It
cliffhanger.
literally was, yeah.
I was always kind of hoping that there was some reason and some thought behind it and a place it was going to go that would amaze us all. But I think that was kind of wishful thinking, to be fair. I think it was one of those cases where Russell just thought, shock ending, again, let's put Billy Piper back in. What the hell? It'll be a hoot.
Yeah, and maybe he was thinking, you know, that's the end of it. You know, we'll do this. It'll be a right laugh. People will love it. And then the BBC were like, yeah, we kind of need to have, you know, Christmas special to sort of, you know, finish this up. You know, who was the boss? Nobody knows. Why is there a gold tooth with possibly the master in it? Nobody knows. Various things. But I know it sounds really harsh, but these loose ends do not need to be
They're
dealt
not
with.
necessarily loose ends, are they? They're things that could be picked up,
They
but
could be,
may
but
not
I
be.
think that
Russell just writing himself, you know, a potential window in a room with no doors.
yeah, and they're loose ends in that, you know, there was no plan behind them or anything, and so we don't need to deal with these. And I think, you know, if it comes back in 5 years and it tries to explain why the Doctor had been Billy, it didn't work when we had bogey monsters. It's not going to work to open with that again.
Again, don't forget,
You
some
know.
people like the bogey monsters. You know, like I said, that may have been their first Doctor Who, and they loved it. They thought, what is this wacky, crazy show? I want more of it.
Well, I'd like to meet them.
Generation Alphas, mate. What was I going to say as well? So, is there a danger, though, that if we don't get a Christmas special or any kind of sort of wrap up or whatever of this, you know, what Russell's kind of set up, right? That
Shatner.
well, hold on a sec, right? Because the person that I'm sort of thinking about in all this is Ncuti Gatwa, right? Who's almost, I think, in danger of becoming like Colin Baker was at the time, you know, regarded as, you know, or Sylvester McCoy even, you know, the last Doctor when it all went to shit, basically, you know, and as much as whatever goes on behind the scenes, I think most people see him as a Doctor. Is there a danger that Ncuti Gatwa could be seen as, I don't know, you know, the worst Doctor or something? I mean, it sounds horrible for me to even suggest that because I love his Doctor, you know, and I generally hate it when fans sort of do a pile-on on a Doctor Who actor, but I don't know.
Again, I think it's multifaceted. I think, you know, probably a lot of people, you know, liked his Doctor, and they understand that what happened. Sorry, my screen's gone really dark for some reason. That what happened,
Flashing in and out of reality, Jeff.
you know, what happened was not, well, him leaving was down to him, but brought about by the lack of third series commitment. You know, and these sort of weak episodes were not his doing, of course. So, you know, there's various kind of factors at play, I think. But I don't think anyone, I don't know, actually. I don't think anyone in the fandom sort of blames him. But I don't know what the kind of general audience view might be. To be honest, they probably don't. There's probably no real thought behind it. You know, I don't think anyone's really thinking. Actually, So I was in the sex shop in town the other day. You know, the one that trades computer games and stuff.
Say that again.
The
You
sex
were in the
shop.
sex shop.
Yeah, you know,
Of
the one
course you were. Yeah.
trades computer games. You know, CEX sex shop. And
Wah, wah,
there was a couple of
wah.
people,
Yes.
two ladies in there, just a bit further down the aisle. And one of them said, "Oh,
Checking
did you
checking
hear
out a few
that?
boxes, were they?
You know, that they said, oh, did you hear they've cancelled Doctor Who?" And
Cancel
the other,
Doctor Who.
and
Yeah.
the other lady said, "Yeah, it was probably a good thing at the moment." And I thought that
Oh,
flashed me back to, and this is a true story, and
yeah.
I have mentioned this on the podcast before. When Shooty had been announced as a doctor,
Mm,
I was with my kids at a little ice cream shop down at the beach,
yeah.
and the people who were working in there were sort of teen girls, early 20s. One of them said, "Did you hear Shooty Gap was going to be the next Doctor Who?" "Oh, that's brilliant." The other one said, "We're going to have to watch it because he was great in Sex Education."
Mm,
And now I'm hearing people going, whatever, you know.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just, it's quite interesting. There was a,
I mean, for
you know,
for someone whose career is kind of on the up, I mean, Sex Education was a massive
mm,
boost to Shooty and all the other actors in that. And most of them were unknowns, and it really sort of catapulted them right into the limelight. So it kind of made sense that one of those guys would be on, could be a new Doctor and would be great at it. But now, of course, has been the Doctor maybe damaged Shooty's career in some way? Did he escape? Did he get out of it knowing that, well, I'm not going to stick around because it potentially could damage my career? I mean, to be fair, Shooty's kind of messages online have always been really positive and really hopeful and very supportive. And I think he at least understands some of the kind of wrench that Doctor Who fans are feeling right now. And I've seen some Instagram messages on his account saying, he cares, there's support, there's, a lot of love out there from Shooty to the fans.
yeah, he's a really good ambassador for it. And I
Mm,
think, I would imagine in the industry, people would know, it wasn't him. So I don't think it will hurt him long term. I think maybe doing some stage stuff
that's good.
afterwards, I think he should try to get back on screen. Um, but yeah, I think he's fine. So I don't know why I'm flickering here. My screen's going on. Let me just turn
I don't
the
know,
lamp
Jeff. Who knows? It's obviously being a professional videographer. You have the top end kit that's running up there, don't you? You show as much love and attention to this as you do to your filming
on. Yeah,
events.
yeah,
Wow, you've gone all shiny now, mate. Look at that. You
yeah.
look like
No,
a
it's
cyber dude.
because I'm bloody hot as well.
You look like Chameleon in the Planet of Fire when he does Howard. All kind of silver and shiny. Beautiful. Look at that. That's what you call lighting. Yeah, there you go. Should we introduce you to the concepts of lighting, Jeff? Do you know about this?
Well, it's just the webcam on here. It's not very good.
Oh.
I'll get another one soon. Um, I'm going to play this speak
Come on
pipe
in. Who else we
from
got?
Jackson Temporalson, who
Ooh.
we've often talked with, particularly on Instagram, about his figures and figure photography. This is the first time he's I was going to say written in, but he's voiced in.
He's
So
voiced in.
let's have a listen to this.
Hey guys, it's Jack, also known as Templeton. For me, I've been a bit burnt out on the show. I personally feel like the show needs to have a rest, but it needs to go back to its creature feature roots. I think it needs to focus on more urban legends rather than fantasy. Take a look at the recent Backrooms film, which was based off an urban legend of sort of no clipping into reality and going into this never-ending space of corridors and things. And I think the show ideally needs to thrive off urban legends. Like in the classic series, you had the Yeti, you had the vampires, you also had the Loch Ness Monster. And I feel like there are creatures that the show needs to explore. Things like the Wisps and the Mothman. And I feel like there are other things, that are sort of sci-fi supernatural that the show needs to sort of investigate, and it needs to sort of go back to that sort of horror root, that the sort of nightmarish creatures that you don't know sort of what's hiding out there. But being honest, that's sort of my personal opinion of where, the show needs to go, really.
I'll be honest.
Brilliant. You're up for that, aren't you?
I would watch the hell out of that.
Yeah, you would.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah,
creature feature.
The Stranger
Was
Things.
Doctor Who always rooted in creature features, though? I mean, it was part of it, but I don't think it was entirely that.
Well, I mean, it's certainly, I would say, with the new era, it's kind of monster of the week sort of thing, But I think with like the Stranger Things type of stuff, although of course in another 5 years, who knows what will be in vogue then. But it's a show called The Boroughs at the moment on Netflix, which is sort of Stranger Things type of stuff, but with older people in it. That sort of horror, sort of sci-fi fantasy type thing is quite popular. And I like the idea of like the Mothman, or maybe Chupacabra or something like that. These real things that could easily be bent into fit. Doctor
real
Who stuff.
Things.
Well, real myths.
Urban legends.
Right?
Yeah. I like that. Well, when you think, what was that? Chris Eccleston audio, Nine and Rose, The Last Days of the Powell Estate,
Mr.
which
Fish
tackled,
Fingers,
yeah. I mean, it invented its own urban legend and dealt with it, and
But it was
I
really
honestly
cool.
thought that was one of the best Big Finish audios
fantastic,
ever. Really, really good. So I think there's a lot to be said for that, and I think that kind of, when Doctor Who is set within our own world and tackles something like that we might have read about somewhere, seen online, or seen some shaky videos or something that could be something really terrifying. When Doctor Who pulls that out the bag and goes running with it, then it's absolutely brilliant. It's a proper roller coaster. But I to temper that in a way, I would hate for Doctor Who to be solely, within that vein, because I think one of the beauties of Doctor Who, of course, is that it can accommodate almost any other story. But I absolutely get it. I think some kind of focus on those urban legends and bringing those nightmares to life through the medium of Doctor Who, it's a great idea. I'm up for that. As long as we do some sci-fi stuff as well with spaceships and shit. I need that. I need that in my life.
Yeah.
As long as they're not propelled by fart gas, then I'm good. I wonder if there's even enough propulsion, stored energy in methane to really do that anyway. I mean, all you need is a bit of movement, I guess, in space. But anyway, let's not go there. All right. Okay, so, I mean, that... I don't know. We kind of where we are with Doctor Who now, aren't we? Really, nothing we say is going to change the way that it is. So I think in order to kind of get on with our lives, move on, we've got to accept it for whatever it is and whatever it wasn't and whatever it won't be, but might be in some alternate universe, but sadly not ours. We have to live in this one and just dial down and get on with things. But as we said, there's a lot more Doctor Who stuff and more non-Doctor Who stuff as well. Is I think. One of the great things since the late 90s, maybe, was that there seems to be a real resurgence in fantasy and sci-fi and, all those other things. And it just doesn't seem to stop. When you think we've had so many great series back in the day, obviously the Buffys and everything else that we talked about, Smallville, all the DC superhero shows that me and my daughter loved watching. We've had Marvel stuff recently. We've had, with Stargate, which, to be fair, was never a series that I particularly got on board with, but that ran for years and years and years. And there's still talk now of bringing it back. And it's mad to think that a lot of those shows that were resurgent not that long ago, in my mind, people are now talking about bringing them back as well, along with a lot of original stuff as well. So you look on Netflix, even Sky Originals, there's a lot of stuff on there that if you're a fan of sci-fi, fantasy and horror, there's a lot of it there, right?
Yeah,
it's brilliant. There's an absolute glut of it right now.
It wasn't that long ago, relatively, that that sort of stuff was kind of, in the shadows, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was reduced to the sidelines. I mean, I remember sort of late 80s and early 90s, a lot of TV people, I think Michael Grade, the guy who acts Doctor Who back then, was very much against anything like that. He didn't see the value of it, just didn't get on with it. And I think from all the sycophants that he surrounded himself at the corporation, that kind of bled outwards into the mainstream. So we just got a glut of soap operas and various other kinds of stuff. And I think, but over in the US, stuff was clearly happening. So that by the time we got something like Buffy, it seemed to arrive almost in the middle of a desert. I think we'd had some Star Trek series, so things like Voyager had carried us into the 90s, Deep Space Nine, which got really, really good in the second half of that run. Then we got Enterprise. So, but I think by the time Enterprise was coming in sort of early 2000s, that was sort of, maybe we'd seen enough of that, to be honest. But again, we got Star Trek coming back. Some people love it, some people don't. But nonetheless, we got new Star Trek series and, all sorts going on. So, but it's not Doctor Who, is it? That's the thing. But
no, but there's always other stuff, and in terms of other things that are coming out this year. I mean, there's loads of stuff, but I'm particularly looking forward to Spider-Man next month.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to go and see that with my son Ethan and his friends. So that's going to be great. First Marvel we'll have seen in the cinema together. Although I am absolutely outraged. It's not on IMAX.
What's not on IMAX? Oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is it not?
No, Marvel have blown their IMAX stuff this year.
No, really?
Yeah. So
that's a bummer, isn't it?
It's not on there.
Is Doomsday going to be in IMAX?
No, because Nolan's whacking off on IMAX instead. So he's got it. So I'm disappointed by that. I was tempted to see Spidey in what do they call it? Screen X, where you got the 2 extra screen things at the sides.
Right, yeah.
Because apparently they filmed it specifically to kind of go onto that. Because
oh right, okay.
I often thought that was
so what's that?
Just
side by side.
Where you get 3 screens and then like there's extra sort of stuff coming out, in the sides.
Like?
So more shot and more, screen area.
Oh, right.
And previously I thought it was maybe just a bit of a kind of
guff. Yeah,
but actually it looks like it's they shoot super wide to be able to accommodate it.
Okay. So your peripheral vision picks up on things that you're not instantly aware of, but which affects your sense of the whole sensory immersion.
Let me see if I can find
that sounds
example.
Interesting.
Hold on.
Hold on your horses, people. Jeff is searching the interweb right now for something that's going to blow your socks off. Do not dial away.
Hold on. No, that's not.
Do not leave this screen. Do not leave this tab. He's going to be with it just momentarily.
Now I'm panicking. Oh, no, it's loaded it as an image for some reason. Oh my God. Don't do that.
This is why preparation is king.
I've got it.
He's got it. Oh, the excitement is palpable.
Let's share the screen.
Goldfather.
Oh, God, it's disappeared.
Technology is such a whiz.
What a disaster. Right, here you go. Share
screen. That screen.
That's it. So look there.
Oh, there we go.
So this is the normal screen. And then you get
fun.
This coming out at the side.
Like a wraparound.
Yeah. So, I mean,
gotcha.
There's nothing that you're going to, think, oh, God.
But you would feel like you're in there, right?
Yeah. So it's quite cool.
Oh, that looks cool. You've got to do that. If it's available in that, you've got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not IMAX.
It's a shame we don't live closer together, mate, because I'll be there with you. I'll be there to hold your hand.
Yeah, it might be quite good like that, yeah. So
you can actually sit on my knee properly, let alone virtually.
Doomsday.
Little Jeff sitting on Paul's knee. Sorry, go on.
I'm looking forward to Doomsday, of course. I did... there's something's leaked from it this week. It's a finished supposed opening of the film, and it was really, really pixelated, but it popped up on Twitter, and I didn't scroll straight past it. And I saw the team up shot. No,
don't tell me. I don't want to know.
No, I won't say anything, but I thought even in full quality, that's going to be really cool. So that was exciting.
Has it kind of piqued your excitement for it then? even if it's a bit of a
I've still got a
spoiler.
few worries. I still don't really understand why the hell we've got Steve Rogers leading it, but
We should do a podcast on this after it comes out, because I'm quite into going to see it as well. Actually, I think Freya will probably come with me, so we
as
could
we've
almost
discussed,
resurrect a MCU C2C for a one night only kind of thing.
Well, I think we could do it about Spidey as well. I think we're going to be talking about
2 nights only,
other things as well.
3 nights,
Possibly, yeah.
possibly an ongoing series.
yeah. I'm just going to show this as well. So last night I went
Superheroes?
to the Magic the Gathering Marvel
right,
set pre-release event, which was good fun. So you go in and you open up some packs, and there's a special little
What's that? A dice
there with a
die,
Marvel
yeah.
comic logo
Lots
on it.
of
And then you build a deck there, and then you do 3 rounds of up to 3 games if you were like win, lose, win.
Yeah.
Of course, I lost everything I played.
Shame.
But I was quite pleased because I did get a Yelena card.
Oh, hooray.
So that was pretty good.
That's a bookmark into your Marvel porn. You can use that for.
And it was good. But for what my friend Louis and I, what we paid each for the ticket.
You had to pay for it?
Yeah. Well,
for
you're buying
box.
the box and stuff, but then you got a couple of extra packs for taking part, and if you win, you get other stuff. So it was well worth it.
That's cool.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I've built a bit of a Thunderbolts themed deck out of that, so it was good fun.
Nice.
We've got. We talked briefly a bit about the new Resident Evil game that's coming out. There's new Tomb Raider. Have you seen the trailer for the Tomb Raider?
No, I haven't actually.
No,
What, video game or film?
Yeah. Well, there's a TV series as well with.
I have. Yeah, I have
Sophie
heard
Turner.
whisperings of this. Yeah, a while ago actually. It completely gone out of my head, but yes.
The
Game
is,
sounds fun.
And is another remake of the first one, but it
just refuses to die, doesn't it?
Yeah, part of me's
I really liked actually the last Tomb Raider film. Was it Alicia? What's her name?
Yeah, Vikander. Yeah, it was
Vikander.
good,
Yeah,
very much like the.
I honestly thought they were going to do more
series.
of those.
Yeah, but this new game is kind of they're pitching it as the sort of continuation of the Survivor series of games, where she crashed on the island and stuff, and then she's now
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
And she's
I'm going
now
backwards, but
the Tomb Raider.
I played those again quite recently. Actually,
they're great games.
They're really good. Yeah.
They're not Tomb Raider. And I can't.
But they're not the old Tomb Raider.
Yes.
But I much prefer these to whatever the old stuff was. I never got on with the old, the original sort of PlayStation games at all. I got them on a PC rather than a PlayStation, and I think Tomb Raider 3 was my first one.
Right.
And I just hated it. I just thought it was really boring and just not. I just didn't like it. I thought whatever Tomb Raider is about, it's just kind of gone. So for me, really, Tomb Raider started when they did the Survivor series, and then suddenly I thought, okay, now we got a game on our hands. That is something I want to play.
Modern, and they were really good. And so this game is sort of they basically, this is the new timeline. So it's the first game redone, following the pattern of the Survivor,
the new stuff.
And then the year after, there is another game in this sort of new timeline where she's a little bit older, which is slightly bonkers. I don't understand why they're doing the remake of the original where she's 25, and then the next game she's like 45. The aging didn't bother me, but just keep her the same.
Just whatever. Just play the game or don't play the game.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think that's good, though. I think.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. So we've got. We're looking forward to as well, actually, because Freya said to me the other day. She goes, "When are we going to see Supergirl? Or when do you want to see Supergirl?" Which I think is out this week coming. I think it's out Thursday, isn't it? Yeah. So, and I'm not around on Friday. I'm away actually. So she's a bit annoyed by that, but. And then she's like, well, let's go see it in IMAX. So she's got a big IMAX thing going on. So we're probably going to see that next weekend, and that does look like a lot of fun, actually. I know you're not massive on DC, but
she's good, Millie Alcock.
Yeah. And it looks like a really good take on the whole Supergirl thing. So, we'll see see what that has to offer. There was something else as well, actually, which I forget. Something else coming out soon. What else we got? We got Doomsday. We talked about that. We've got Spidey. Oh, I think it was Spidey, actually.
Yeah, that's natural. Yeah.
It was Spidey.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that we were talking about going to see as well. So yeah, we need to do that because we found an IMAX in Bristol. So that's a little bit close to us than the Swindon thing, and I know it actually. It's not one of these crappy Cineworld things either. I don't think. So it's because that one in Swindon was just awful. It was honestly, it was just you'd walk in there, you might as well have time traveled back to, I don't know, 1982 or something. But it was just honestly, I know we've talked about this. The sound was awful. The screen was kind of tatty. You know, the stink of stuff ground into the carpets, popcorn and old biscuits and squished hot dogs and ketchup and whatever the hell else was in there. It just wasn't pleasant at all. So I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, that's terrible. I mean, you know.
But who knows? We got this new one in Bristol, and hopefully it will renew my expectations. What's the word?
To verify everything, you know.
What do you say? You broke up there completely on my set.
IMAX is supposed to, verify everything. Do you know what I mean? And if it's not meeting their standards, you know, it doesn't work. You know, they'll pull it.
I can't hear, mate. I can't hear you. It's all
really.
It's all gone crackly.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Say it again. Yeah, go on.
IMAX is supposed to, the screen has to meet their standards and stuff. And if it's not, you know, there's something.
Yeah, but how often do they police that? How often do the inspectors from IMAX come along and visit the screens that are showing their stuff?
I don't know. Maybe they need to do it more.
Excuse me, we're an IMAX inspector. We've heard reports about there being rips in your screen and little creases upon the fabric, which is upsetting some of our very valued customers. We are here to inspect it. Please show us where your IMAX screen is.
Well, if they're listening, they'll know. They'll know to go and have a look.
They should do it. They should do it more often and go to the Cineworld in Swindon because it's an absolute dog's dinner of an IMAX in there. At least it was a year ago when I last went. I had to go there. There's the only one. But now we got one in Bristol. Hey,
where did you say
it's been there for years. I just didn't know about it. Yeah, hey.
Where was it?
Which one? The crappy one?
Yeah.
Swindon something retail park somewhere. Cineworld. I think it was a Cineworld. If it wasn't Cineworld, apologies Cineworld, but it probably was. Are you looking on the interweb for it now?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Because this is riveting content now, mate.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they actually have one. Maybe they do. Yeah. Okay.
Where in Swindon?
Yeah.
Maybe they've torn it down. Maybe the inspectors went over there and said, "I'm afraid you cannot be allowed to display IMAX again. You are failing our standards, you naughty people."
You joke, but they are quite strict on things, I think.
Are they? Well, they should be. And they should absolutely throw the book at that one because it was awful. I kid you not. It's the worst cinema experience of my life, apart from when I was 9 years old and I was forced to go and watch something that I didn't really want to watch at all. Something about, people in love or something. I was sick in the aisle. I mean, I wasn't, but... Anyways, okay, so what else have we got to talk about? Anything interesting, or should we save it now until next week? What do you think, Mr. Jeff?
Next week,
I think so. Yeah, let's leave our audience suspended for more.
Yes. Shock cliffhanger where we both
shock cliffhanger. We're going to stop it right here. Yes, but I think on the whole, I've enjoyed this little chat. We're going to have more Doctor Who. It might not be on telly, and that's disappointing. And Russell's been a bit of a drama queen the way he sort of slammed his door in all our faces. But whatever, goodbye, move on, kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to whatever happens is going to happen.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be exciting and entertaining and brilliant and wonderful and bright, then I'm up for it.
Yeah, so we will see. Right.
Indeed.
We'll be back next week. We will have a chat about what we're going to talk about. We'll let people know and they can contribute. And so we will catch you on the flip side.
Bye for now, dear listeners. See you next time.